Hello, everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Michael Damiani.
Hello.
Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello.
And Brandon Jones.
Hello.
Hello, Michael Damiani. What is your goal this week?
My goal is, outside of this moment, to use a radio voice.
Ooh. The entire podcast, or just
no? At one point I gotta do an entire line delivered in some kind of radio host voice.
Nice.
Kind of like when I do over there. It's gonna be like
DJ Damiani.
Now coming up on the mic, it's Kyle Bossman, the host of Easy Allies podcast.
I like that. It's good. Daniel Bloodworth, what is your goal this week?
My goal is to find some way to reference the movie Your, which we were just listening to the theme song from.
Okay. No, give everybody a little more who is not familiar with the film Your.
It's 70s or 80s sci-fi / fantasy movie, very much in the vein of Conan, but then there's
lasers.
There's lasers and dinosaurs both.
Great.
So yeah.
So now they will know when the Your reference drops. Brandon Jones, your goal this week.
To not spoil the results of the Easy Allies 2017 PlayStation Experience Betting Special Results Show.
Okay. And my goal is to not have any Scrooge moments for this podcast.
Aw.
Been having a bunch of Scrooge moments.
They're my favorite.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to keep it clean. No Scrooge moments. We'll see how I do. Begin corrections music, please. Mega Man Crossover was a mobile game released only in Japan, China, and Korea.
Whoa.
Mega Man vs. Street Fighter was something else entirely. The hardest difficulty in Mega Man 11 is Superhero. We had a laugh about Hells Yeah being the catchphrase for the PSP. That was the only commercial that ended with Hells Yeah. So it was kind of unfair for us to assume they were all Hells Yeah. One of them was PSP. It's like a nut you can play with outside. End corrections music, please.
Cool.
Now, I have an addition to corrections music this week. We're bringing back a segment called Kyle Apologizes for Something. Mm-hmm. I've got two things to apologize for.
Uh-oh.
When you flip a piece...
How very not Scrooge of you, Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm doing okay so far. When you flip a peace sign backwards, it means up yours in many cultures.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I got to apologize for that. I did not know that. Now I do. Also... German is a funny language, but all languages are funny.
Yes.
So it's not like German is particularly funny.
Right.
One commenter pointed out that in the English language, we have the word doodle. Yeah, I mean, that's a funny word.
Yeah.
So to everyone, I am sorry.
Okay.
Let's begin the podcast. Y'all know my favorite way to start a podcast?
Game announcement.
Game announcements.
Got a couple?
Jones, I have so many. Game announcements. Would we have a month ago known that we'd have more game announcements to talk about from the Game Awards than from PSX?
Mm-mm. Nope.
Ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Not
That's
game announcements that
ridiculous.
we care about, at least.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We got... So basically, yes, for the format of this podcast, we're going to be talking about the Game Awards announcements first.
Announcements.
And then, we'll after podcast halftime, we'll cover the wimpy PSX announcements. Wimpy. What is that commercial?
Hefty.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was thinking of something else.
What were you thinking of?
Well, I was thinking of the commercial. I was thinking of a line, that wimpy deer.
What is that from?
So what prompts that is someone goes, "Oh, I thought you meant Bambi."
That wimpy deer. You're doing Sandlot.
There you go.
All right.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so
Wow, picking it up, Kyle.
I'm doing alphabetical order, and that lets us lead with a very interesting game announcement. Bayonetta 3 was announced at the Game Awards. That is a Switch exclusive title developed by Platinum Games.
Yeah.
Not much else to say about that. We don't know much else about Bayonetta 3 beside what was shown in that trailer, which showed old Bayonetta. Well, I don't know old Bayonetta, but she had her updo. She had
you
her,
mean like
original
class,
outfit.
like
yeah.
or
Oh,
OG
I see.
Yeah,
Bayonetta?
Bayonetta 1
Hairstyle.
Bayonetta. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think about her hairstyle.
It's weird. She kind of like disappears at the end of the trailer. You see
There's
like,
this weird ghost thing.
Yeah, and there's a
Yeah.
weird ghost thing. And then a weird just 3 slashed into a moon.
Well, they kind of do something sort of similar in the previous teaser trailers, I thought.
Oh,
The
for
reveal.
sure.
Yeah, the teasers all have a
too.
similar vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was continuing that tradition, but I think besides the ghost thing Blood pointed out, I think the most interesting thing about that teaser was when she fires the bullets and the ghost force, before you fully see it, like stops them, starts shredding them up. And it looks like some kind of like weird, like, I don't know if it's like space-time manipulation or whatever, because she's got witch time when she does her dodges.
Yeah.
And then the weird thing that happens to her, because you see her 2 legs, and it looks like she just like splits in half. It's
Yeah.
this weird, unsettling animation that you have there. But, I mean, interesting. It's coming.
I'll tell you
Good
my
stuff.
fear. My fear is prequel. I don't want that.
Oh, I don't think you're getting a prequel.
Well, I go
There's
back to
so
Bayonetta's
much
old-
No.
backstory
Flashbacks, maybe?
already.
What's up?
Maybe flashbacks. Maybe it'll bounce all over the
No,
place.
Sure.
they've done all that.
They do flashbacks a lot in Bayonetta.
I feel like
I feel like
Yeah.
they've covered all the bases you would cover in a prequel.
Yeah.
we're going forward, baby.
Okay, I hope so.
The future.
So she just decides, I'm done with short hair again. I'm going back to that one costume I wore a while ago.
It's okay to change up your,
Yeah, I mean,
your
it's just a
hairstyle every now
style
and then.
anyways.
You go back to an old one, that's fine.
Okay, that's fair.
Maybe it's a seasonal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still has enough hair to summon like towering monsters.
Yes, still enough hair to summon the towering monsters and butterflies. Last thing I want to talk about with this is that also with that announcement, or before that announcement, much to Jones's chagrin, Bayonetta 1 and 2, a collection, basically Bayonetta 2 and 1 is included as a digital download, coming to Switch February 16th for, and maybe this isn't confirmed, but this is the Amazon pre-order, $60.
For the both?
Yes. That seems right? That seems okay?
That's, I mean,
I'd make it 40. That seems a lot to me.
Is that
that's kind of a Nintendo thing, though.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, they don't really drop the prices. And yeah, so that's basically what they did with Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U.
Yes. Right, same thing. Where you bought Bayonetta 2 and then Bayonetta 1 was included as well. So yeah, basically same packaging and everything.
it's a good thing. 'Cause Bayonetta 2 probably didn't get the sales it deserved on the Wii U.
Is it going to get the sales it deserves on the Switch?
Yes. Oh, yes, it
At
is.
$60, you think it's going to?
Oh, yes. Done together? Of course they will.
Okay.
Bayonetta, I mean, I forget what the Steam numbers did, because I think it sold pretty well on
It
Steam.
did. Yeah, it did.
My gut says that it will Bayonetta 1's, because it's included with it.
Yes.
So Bayonetta 2 1 package sales will probably outdo the Steam sales. It'll be the best-selling version of Bayonetta 1 and 2. I
Wow.
mean, 2 is not saying much because of the Wii U, but watch 1. But, people argue, hey, it was included, it was a package, doesn't really count.
Yeah, I mean, you're really only going to be tracking sales
Yeah.
of 2.
But who cares? You're getting Bayonetta 1 and 2 on the Switch, playing it on the go. It's good stuff. And Bayonetta 2 is a great game, so now
It
people
is, yeah.
people actually finally will play it. Platinum will get the sales they deserve for that game, and it's just going to make everyone really excited for Bayonetta 3, which will probably sell really well too.
Jones, were you surprised to see Nintendo continue to support Bayonetta?
No, I think that was always just a question for me whether that was going to happen or not, but I didn't think that was a long shot. I think
Yeah.
that was something
Right.
that they got a lot of good credit for. And I think we're seeing Nintendo doubling down on things they are getting good vibes for. Like they're listening to feedback, and when people say, yeah, I liked that, I think they're acting upon those things.
Not so much the other way around. They don't necessarily adjust when people don't like something.
Correct.
But when some people do like something, they're like, oh, yeah, we'll give you more of that. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Fair point, Blood.
I think the main question is how long since this announcement do we actually get Bayonetta 3? Like, when is that actually going to happen? So
Yeah.
if that game doesn't happen for another 3 years, I think it was probably premature.
I don't think that'd be 3
to
years,
announce,
but I don't think it would be this 2018 from, just seeing a teaser.
Why do the re-releases though if it isn't close?
Yeah. I think the re-releases, you got like 6 to 8 months to get
Yeah.
that
Sure.
good feedback from the community to contribute to sales.
Otherwise
of
it starts
3,
cooling
but-
again,
But
right?
I'd be surprised if we get 3 in 2018, but who knows?
Probably no more after we see that January Direct and know a little bit more about Nintendo's lineup for
Yes.
2018.
KNOW more.
Yeah, they will.
Well, because you said probably no more, and I'm like, what are you talking about, Damiani? I got
We'll
it.
probably know.
Yeah, yeah.
But we'll know their lineup strategy. In February might be a
Yeah.
month where they need. They're like, oh, we didn't really have much in that month, so Bayonetta 1 and 2 makes sense to put it out here.
Yeah, I mean, it is true that like Nintendo is largely mystery land right now.
Yes.
2018 is like, okay, we've heard of a couple of games that are coming. We have no idea when those games are going to be. But okay, so Bayonetta is now February. What is the January game? I feel like we should know that we might know that.
I mean,
I don't know if there is one.
There's no one confirmed. It's the people I think are maybe assuming that Yoshi or Kirby game would be the one that would fit into January.
I bet Kirby will be ready soon.
So-
That one actually has a title.
Lost Sphere. It's not exclusive, but that's coming January, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. If we're going with that, then that's in there. But like first
yeah,
party
I was
developed
thinking first
Nintendo.
party, but
yeah. I think people are leaning towards Yoshi or Kirby will be the one that'll fill in that in, or yeah, we'll see. January Direct.
Yep. We haven't talked about it on this podcast, but some marketing documents were leaked for Faye and A Way Out. These stated it had a timeline much like that Rabbids one did, and in that timeline it says in the January Direct we're going to be talking about Faye. So we know there's a January Direct, and we know that Faye will be part of it. Okay, moving on. A game called Fade to Silence. Now this is from Black Forest Games. THQ Nordic is the one publishing this. This is an RPG by their own phrasing, but it's a survival game basically in the snow. But there are eldritch monsters. Had to look up what eldritch means because I've been hearing Ian say eldritch blast all this time, and I just figured it was like a D&D word, but now I know it's an actual word. Basically, and in this game, you decide who joins, like there's NPCs, and you can decide who joins your refuge and who doesn't, basically. And so it's about trusting others in this wilderness of snowy craziness, but also horrific monsters.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there could be consequences then if you let in the wrong people.
Yes.
Like someone could just like raid all your stuff and leave, and next day you're like, where'd all our supplies go?
And it's about resources too. Everybody's got to eat.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Oh, so you can't, even if you want to, you can't bring in
Probably not.
too many people. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jones, you look pumped on this.
I'm stoked. Yeah, this is. I mean, building survival, the nature, the spooky looking shadow monsters. There's just a lot that speaks to me in this. I was surprised to see so much gameplay, having not even heard about anything about this game. Them coming out and showing a lot of this stuff in engine, showing kind of how the building works, and this would have something I would have been pleased with, just kind of a concept video. But it was nice to see so much of it. Well, yeah. So I'm very intrigued.
What's interesting is that the game, December 14th, starts in early access.
Right. Yeah.
Which is what, 2 days from now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, that was a really quick announcement, turnaround to release. Well, early access. I don't know if that counts as release, but yeah, it's playable soon. Cool. Next up, well, do I count this as an F? Let's do it anyway. From Software's new game.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So let's describe what we saw at the end of the pre-show at the Game Awards.
We saw something with a bone and a coil of rope that was attached to some kind of rotating, I don't know, drill-like device. It was, yeah. And then behind it...
Was the rope nice and clean?
No, the rope was covered in blood.
Oh.
That looked like flesh to me. That looked like musculature.
No, it really looked
muscle
like
tissue,
like rope to me. But yeah, it basically looked kind of like a winch, kind of like on the front of a truck in a way.
Yes, I hear you actually.
Yeah.
But then people say that's how actual bones work.
Okay.
Is that tendons are just twisting on the inside, and that's how we're able to.
Twisting? I don't know about twisting.
Okay.
But yeah, and then behind it there was like a scroll with like a bunch of Japanese writing, and there's definitely more Japanese style music, traditional Japanese music.
Do we know what this game is?
Nope.
And a tagline: "Shadows die twice."
Yes.
Yes.
Which I think led a lot of people to say, "Oh, Bloodborne." Twice.
Well, also
right,
led a lot of
right?
people to say Shadow Tower, which is a game that nobody actually seems to know anything about.
Yeah.
But
Is that from Software, Shadow Tower?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that could be a stretch as well. Mm-hmm. The other suggestion has been Tenchu, but Tenchu having the bones and blood and everything doesn't seem to be a match either.
But there were supernatural elements to the Tenchu games, and what they were saying is that Rikimaru, the main character from most of the Tenchu games, died in the franchise. I'm not totally caught up on Tenchu lore.
Yeah.
And the word shadow has appeared in at least one Tenchu game.
Oh,
say
so that's
subtitle.
why Jones, it's not Tenchu,
And
dude.
so I mean that again, I don't know what it is. I'm not putting my eggs in that basket, but it is kind of fun to speculate.
There's a crazy theory thread on Reset Era about how they think it's Bloodborne 2. This crazy analysis about it.
Sure.
But I think as crazy as it is and well thought out it is, the problem ultimately falls upon it. Bloodborne would have to be Sony exclusive. And there was no mention of exclusivity in that trailer anywhere.
Right.
And having
No
it premiere at
trademarks.
the Game Awards versus their own event is very unlike Sony to do something like that.
Yeah.
Without
without
the branding.
Sony logo of some kind.
Yeah.
That's the biggest argument apparently from just like a logistical standpoint is against Bloodborne 2.
Yeah.
Is that Sony there would have been more branding on it somewhere.
I just realized I should be open about a conflict of my own where I was, intimately involved with the Game Awards. And so I knew some of these things coming in. This From Software game, had no clue about. It was in the rundown as a code name. Keeley, for this one in particular, was hyping it up all week, but would not even hint at what it was. So I still have no idea what this actually is. I'm not playing a game right now. I have no idea what that game is.
That's at PSX when I got to the show floor. First person I ran into after I got my badge was Mr. Jeff Keighley.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Wow.
And the first question he asked me, he goes, "What do you think that From Software game is?" Yep.
Two trolls meet each other coming through the rye.
Troll dominance. Okay, another game announced at the Game Awards. This one was actually, I had to look it up. It was actually announced earlier, but just as a title. But this was the reveal of it, so we can still call it an announcement. GTFO. I don't know what it stands for. That's a game from a studio called 10 Chambers. Ulf Anderson is the head of that studio. Payday designer is that person's pedigree. 4-player horror co-op shooter. Is
Some
what that game
scenes
is.
look like Aliens-esque.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of that to it, but then the monsters seem a little bit more just like zombie-ish.
Sure.
Yeah.
What are we feeling about that?
Kind of like the Thing vibe, though. They definitely seem, they're human-ish in that they have like 2 legs and appendages, but kind of like I did get a little bit of like a Dead Space vibe, or like almost like a Silent Hill thing from them, where I wonder if they're like so far gone, or maybe some kind of like creation that somebody made. One thing that I really appreciate about this trailer that goes a long way with me is a lot of games will show off. Case in point, there's something you will talk about later where they show a character moving in first person, and this is clearly captured in engine, but no one is playing this. No one's controlling, no one is moving a mouse and keyboard or moving a video game controller and capturing the movement of this character and then using that for the trailer. They have programmed it ahead of time. So you're seeing movement and head movement and body movement that is just impossible. Like, that's so buttery smooth because they want it to look its best.
Yeah.
And at the very end of the GTFO trailer, one of the guys gets away from the team and runs away and is very clearly playing that game. Like, that is just the movement and the way the head is tracking.
Yeah.
It looked like somebody playing that game. And they mentioned after the fact, when they came up to talk to Jeff, we recorded this. This is all gameplay that you were seeing. Not all in-game, but just using the engine. But this was us playing the game, capturing this footage for the trailer. And
It's an interesting point to bring up. Yeah.
Yeah, that goes a long way with me. I know it can be tough to do that to sell your game because it doesn't. Again, it's not as smooth as you might want. But that being said, I get like For Honor and Evolve vibes from this. I think
about
this is
Left 4
something. Left 4 Dead was a big phenomenon, though. I think that was a game that a lot of people came back to.
But we're past it, you think?
I don't know. I wonder if this is something like a Rainbow Six, which is going to have a nice big launch and be exciting, and then just kind of not. Rainbow Six certainly hasn't faded away, but like is going to have to find its own real dedicated community to stick around and really like celebrate those updates.
Rainbow Six is going up, baby. It's
It
trending
is,
up.
yeah. No,
they
it's
just
had a
announced,
tremendous
like,
track
year
record.
3,
Yeah.
But I think that is an exception. Like I don't think we're having that conversation about Evolve. So with Rainbow, with it adding the horror element and really trying to play up how terrifying it is. If I'm playing the 80th match, it's like, is it really scary for me anymore? Am I really like spooked about these things? Or how good is that co-op? Like how much freedom do we have, and how difficult are the choices we have to make, aside from just more firepower?
Fair enough. Another new game announcement. In the Valley of Gods. This is the new game from Campo Santo, who just made Firewatch. Basically, this game is about two documentary filmmakers who are in Egypt in the late 20s, and they're just making a movie. And so there's nothing supernatural hinted yet. Basically, the idea is just rummaging through temples in a time where making documentaries like isn't a thing yet. It's like a burgeoning art form, and so you can kind of like knock things over, and you can be bad about archaeology at that time.
I mean, it looked really cool. It was probably the most unique game that was announced, I think, at the Game Awards, and I liked the visual style of the game. I liked that it was basically you're gonna, from what they showed, you can just go around and basically like mess around with just mess around and explore to try and get the best shots possible. Like it looked like there's some like the only point of tension was maybe like time. Like they were going for that shot with the daylight and everything, going through that like that structure at the right time, almost Indiana Jones style. Mm-hmm. So other than no hinted supernatural, like no mummies or anything like that. If that's not in the game, it seems like that might be it. Like, oh, you gotta get the perfect shot for this, otherwise maybe you have to wait the next day, or you missed out on it entirely. So I mean, it's a unique concept. Like that's not your traditional kind of like gameplay hook there. So nice to see something like that.
I still remember there being a bit of mystery at the launch of the announcement of Firewatch. I think in that initial trailer there was still talk of I saw someone out here. Yeah. Do you know who that is? And like, no, I think there's somebody out there with you.
I remember that trailer.
And so, okay, so like that feeling of isolation that like we're just alone and we have this voice. And I like that it is a step up from Firewatch, that the characters that you communicated with in that game, or the characters that were present in that game's story, you never actually had a moment with another walking, talking person.
Yeah.
They were always just on radio or referenced elsewhere. And so it's nice for them to up that, I think in a very clear way, to show like Camposanto, like this is a step up from the thing we did before. But at the same time, I was surprised when it ended. That was a gorgeous shot, really interesting premise. But at the end, I was like, oh, the sun's coming up. Is it going to hit that thing in a Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of way and make something happen? And then title. I was like, okay, I'm looking for one other little tidbit of story there.
I read a lot on their own website. It kind of sounds like they really don't want to do like a supernatural thing. But
just a mystery. It doesn't have to be supernatural, but just kind of like maybe some antagonist out there, another archaeologist out there for other means. Or
I mean, Firewatch wasn't really, like, it wasn't just about being, in that job. Like there was a whole other story arc of things going on. So, I feel like this is just sort of the backdrop as to whatever the real game's going to be about.
Yes, because also it was very clear in this write-up that it's early. They said years out. And that they're still exploring. They're still figuring out what the game is. And so, it's a very early trailer. I really liked the song choice. I think that was was good for it. That's cool. The next game we're talking about is Soul Calibur 6.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about Soul Calibur 6, I think, many times on this podcast leading up. We weren't totally surprised by the game's existence, but let me give you some details about it. It's coming in 2018. It's using Unreal Engine. Coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and basically we saw Sofita and Mitsurugi and...
Sofita? Or
Sofita.
There is an IA at the end of that, I believe. It's like Sophicia or Sophia.
Is it Sophicia, really?
Yeah, I think
okay,
so.
All right. I'll take your word for it. And basically it's like almost a reboot. They're wearing old costumes, and it like takes place, I think, just right after Soul Calibur, or at the time of Soul Calibur 1. Yeah. That's what we know about that game. Oh, and there are supers. You have the ultra.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
I just thought the way that they brought it out was really, really nice. Like just to kind of show that, the passing of the torch from one director to the other, essentially.
Sure.
With Harada-san of Tekken.
Yeah.
So they had both worked on Tekken, and then this guy is going to be, I forget the other guy's name, but he's going to be leading Soul Calibur.
Yeah, you're right. It was a kind of cool presentation, too. Do your soul still burn? Yeah. And Harada was in, the fanciest garb, the fanciest Japanese garb. It was so cool. I think it was a cool announcement. I guess what I want to ask the panel, Damiani, I'm going to make you field this one. Can you announce a fighting game with only 2 characters?
Whew. I mean, apparently you can with this announcement, but I think you're asking, is that really the best idea? Is that enough to get someone excited about it?
Yes.
I think it's been enough time since Soul Calibur 5 that people, at least the fans, were wondering when they were going to get the next Soul Calibur. As you said, this isn't the first time we've brought it up. This has been like heavily rumored for some time now. So finally get that confirmation. Getting the confirmation that it is in the same style as basically Soul Calibur 1. You said the outfits could possibly be like running alongside the same time period. So, and showing 2 classic characters, and then showing the environments, like how good it looks. I think it's a good thing to do in this fact that you can compare it directly to OG Soul Calibur 1 now. Maybe look at some, like the environment that looks close to that. Look at those 2 characters, Soul Calibur 1 and 6, and be like, whoa, like look how far it has come. But also I think it's more of like a play to be more familiar and safe after the kind of like the not so great reaction to Soul Calibur 5.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we get it. We kind of know we didn't do the best with that one. Mm-hmm. So this is just it's kind of like a confidence play for Bandai Namco to the Soul Calibur fans and to the fighting game community at large, that especially that opening you talked about with Harada basically explaining that and they basically talked about, hey, we did a lot for Tekken 7. We learned a lot of lessons from Tekken 7. We're taking those lessons to heart and going into Soul Calibur 6 with that in mind to make an even better fighting game. So
I think it's going to work.
They said a lot of the right things, and what they showed off I think is good enough. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it'll be too long to see more. I think they just wanted to get that announcement out of there because it was
leaking heavily.
It was starting to leak pretty heavily. So it was like, yeah, we got to do this.
And I should say, I guess the question isn't totally fair because the trailer ends with a tease of a 3rd character who we're not familiar with, actually. So that's kind of interesting. The next game I want to talk about is Vacation Simulator.
Sure.
This comes to us from Alchemy Labs, who made Job Simulator, of course. Will be coming to Vive, Oculus, PSVR in 2018. And this is basically, it's Job Simulator, but you're on vacation.
I think this is a fun trailer.
Yeah.
I think this trailer was fun for people who haven't played the first game. Obviously, comments on some of the things you were doing. If you had played the first game, you can kind of see, wow, there's actually a big kind of environment that, like, maybe instead of just completely moving to different environments from the first game, where if you pick the job that you're in an office or you pick the job that you're in a mechanic, you can't like see the office from the place where you're a mechanic.
Yeah.
But it looks like in this, they might kind of have a more realized full environment. Maybe it's not just divided with a very short selection of jobs, but maybe you spend less time in each activity, but there's more activities to engage in, and maybe you can kind of get a sense of the bigger world. And maybe some of the characters, cross over between some of the areas. But I like them all yelling at you. They're kind of looking around, especially VR, like seeing all these people around you. Loved the burger at the end, being like, it's coming out next year, maybe, I don't know.
Did you play Job Simulator?
Many times, yeah.
Oh, okay,
it.
cool.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Very entertaining game. And a great game to introduce people to VR with. Because there's no wrong way to play Job Simulator. And
it's a top 5 VR game, right? We can easily say that. Like that's a good one.
Sure. I don't know. I don't have enough experience with VR to say it's one of the best.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, if you are new to VR, if you picked up an Oculus or Vive and you're like, oh, I want to show it to my parents, your parents will, I guarantee you, will have a good time playing that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's I think one of the keys there too is it's them recognizing like the success of that, and also recognizing like, we shouldn't just make more jobs. Like that's not gonna be interesting or exciting. Like let's just not just Job Simulator
2.
XL or 2 or whatever. And it's like, okay, here's some other jobs. It's like it kind of puts a twist on it to do Vacation Simulator and just change up the whole feel and vibe of it.
I wonder if they'll. I mean, the original game, the concept is you're in the future. Humans are long gone. These AI have museums where you as an AI can experience what it was like for humans to have jobs. And I wonder if they'll like go deeper into that weird lore, because it's some weird stuff in there. Yeah, we'll see. I think it's just a fun playground to play in. What's up, Johns?
There was a VR game, I believe, that was announced at the Game Awards with A in the title.
Accounting Plus.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a plus. It's an expansion, so I didn't really put it in the game announcements.
Oh, okay, cool.
Did you want to talk about it?
Nope, moving on.
Okay.
Just want to make sure we didn't skip that.
Oh, sure. Witchfire.
Yeah.
Is I think the other game Jones was talking about. So this is from the astronauts who made Vanishing of Ethan Carter. It is on Unreal Engine.
Oh yeah. No, I loved this trailer. Oh, this might have been my favorite.
So take somebody through this trailer who has not seen this trailer. Take us through it.
So in the trailer, we walk into a very spooky looking environment. We begin in the forest, I believe, and then we clear the forest, and we are at a ruined structure of a house or a mansion or ruins or some kind of cathedral.
Okay.
And it feels like what some people would call a walking simulator, other people would call a first-person adventure game. But it looks like a slow-paced game. Looks like really just breathe in this environment and wonder what clues are there, what happened in this house.
Yeah.
And so it's not only can you tell that just by looking at the game, the music and everything, the trailer is completely leading you in that direction. And then the title comes up and says, from the creators of Ethan Carter, of The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. And I think that's not only a smart play for that trailer, but I think that's very common for the Game Awards. I think we've seen a trend from the announcements released at the Game Awards that we have things like Tacoma, or we have these big independent teams that achieve a lot of notoriety, that release a very popular game and then just vanish off the face of the earth. And we have no idea what they're doing. And it seems like Game Awards is a good opportunity for them to come back, especially if their game is going to be on multiple consoles. And so seeing that and seeing Vanishing Ethan Carter, you could hear like in live at the Game Awards the murmur, "Oh, the Ethan Carter, yeah, I really like that game. I know people don't talk about that anymore."
Because you were there at the show.
That was a couple years ago, and I've been wondering what the team's been up to.
Yeah.
And then I can't even remember what it was, but something like in front of you, some monster like pops its head up, and they bring in another title. It says, "We also made Painkiller," and I can't. What was the other one?
Bulletstorm.
And Bulletstorm, and then goes straight into classic Twitch-based mouse and keyboard, just lots of rockets and big, throwing metal objects and stuff like that.
Shooting monsters.
Which is funny because I did not play Bulletstorm, but I did play Painkiller back in the day, and loved Painkiller. Yeah, just these games where you have a very large environment and just waves and waves of just giant monsters attacking you and just huge guns. And so it looked like a game like that, but for this current gen that we're in, which with environments, it might look a little prettier than some of those games have had in the past.
Yeah, I love Jones. You're right. It was just
so playful and fun.
Really way to do really great way to present that game
in a short amount of time too.
Yep.
I think it was only like a little minute and a half, maybe, that trailer, as most are during the Game Awards.
Did I have a date on that? No, I don't. So yeah, well, it'll come when it comes. But yeah, it was cool. Cool trailer, cool moment. That's the kind of thing. That's the kind of thing I like for a live show. Yeah. Because people are watching that all live together. Everyone was clueless together. That's so fun. It's such a fun thing to save for live. If you can, do it. Finally, I don't know if this is the highlight, but this is the last one. World War Z.
Oh, sure.
This is coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One. This is from Saber Interactive, who are currently making Quake Champions, made NBA Playgrounds last year. Or was that was that this year? I think that was this year.
That was this year. We streamed that, yeah.
Yeah. Again, this is 4-player co-op. Let me just read their blurb. With unique survivor stories and missions around the globe, including New York, Moscow, and Jerusalem. Use traps, barriers in the environment strategically to stay alive while unleashing a storm of firepower with a variety of weapons on the unrelenting hordes of the undead. I copied and pasted that because, I grabbed nothing from that trailer.
That was a bad trailer.
It was like zombies, right?
That was
just like
bad. Yeah, you can't snark about the zombie apocalypse anymore. We're done. And that doesn't mean you can't make games. Fortnite has zombies in it. I've loved that this year, but that has a really fun, playful attitude to it. And just if you have a zombie game and you're like, oh, I just thought of a fun slogan for a zombie game. I don't care. It's such a tired genre. It doesn't matter how catchy your slogan is.
Everybody
or how
loves
fun
World
your
War
angle
Z.
is.
We love the graphic novels. We love the movie.
The graphic novels? What you talking about?
World War Z, that's graphic novels, right?
You thinking Walking Dead, maybe?
No.
They made World War Z graphic novels?
Is it books?
It is a one book.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a book
It is a single
written by
book.
Max Brooks, the son of Albert Brooks, and is
Well done, Jones.
The book is fantastic. And actually, one thing that I think I'm getting a little too excited about from that trailer that I was very curious when I saw the film and then saw the movie and was like, nope, they didn't do it.
Oh.
Which what's great about that book, and I highly recommend anybody to get out there and read World War Z if you're a fan of the zombie genre, is that it takes place after the fact. The war happened, we won. So you're going around and talking to all the survivors of the zombie war.
Oh, cool.
And so each of these individual people are telling these crazy stories. You have like a doctor, a medic, a soldier, somebody that was taking people out of a war-torn country and trying to get away from a zombie apocalypse. Like there's one chapter where a lady's like up in northern Canada where all the zombies have frozen. So she's literally walking on the ice, and you can just see hands like shaking and trying to grab coming up out of the ice. And so just all these different perspectives were fascinating because like you didn't lean on one. One wasn't the whole narrative. It was just the collection. A guy going through tunnels in water who was like in a big like BioShock style outfit, clearing out areas that would have zombies just hanging on to him for hours. And he's like, I didn't know because they can't eat me. So I have a zombie arm on my shoulder for like 2 hours. I didn't realize it.
I love you describing this so visually, and it's a book you read. That's pretty
and
cool.
hearing it from the, it's one thing to like see a soldier, but another thing for them to talk about like after the battle and how it's crazy because soldiers are trained to shoot in the chest, and then they completely had to relearn. No, I got to shoot in the head now, which is a much more dangerous place to aim because it's always moving. And then you saw the movie, and it's like, this is Brad Pitt. And I was like, oh come on! Like it was so frustrating not to bring in all of these people. The audiobook is actually really good too because.
Different narrators.
Max Brooks through his father had access to a bunch of great old actors.
Great.
Carl Reiner, I think, does one of the voices. And in the trailer, long story short, for World War Z, the game, you hear a lot of voices that talk about their different experiences, men, women, young, old. And so it's like, ooh, this is neat. I wonder if we'll get their perspective. But the way you describe it's like, no, it's just it's just a co-op game with zombies. Moving on.
Yeah. Maybe like Left 4 Dead, it'll be different scenarios. That could be a case.
It's so late after the movie too, and the movie was not that great, and so hard road to climb, I think, for that game.
Absolutely.
They're making a sequel
to World War Z. Not surprised. Yeah.
Is they the author, or is they the film?
Film,
movie, I would imagine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We just talked about 9 game announcements, and we didn't do one thing. We did not rank the significance.
Oh no.
The groans.
We got 9 games. We must rank the significance of these 9 game announcements. Do you want me to read through them one more time?
Yeah.
Okay. From alphabetical order, Bayonetta 3, Fade to Silence, From Software's new game, GTFO, In the Valley of the Gods, Soul Calibur VI, Vacation Simulator, Witchfire, and World War Z.
World War Z on the bottom.
On the very bottom?
Very, very bottom.
Yep. Wow. Okay.
What was not the last one, but the second to last one that you said?
Vacation Simulator.
Witchfire.
Yeah, Witchfire was fun.
Vacation Simulator was second, or was in there
I
too?
might put that above that.
I mean, From Software is number one.
Number one, no question. Yeah.
That's the most significant game announcement? That wasn't in a game announcement.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
No,
it was.
we don't know what the game is.
That's
people
the
are talking
beginning of that
about,
campaign,
We don't have
dude.
a title. It's a game.
Look at it,
now.
Kyle.
That's going to be a part of so many conversations. A year from now, we're going to be looking back and be like,
You need to download
that's
that
when
thing and
we
put
saw
it
that.
somewhere,
Yeah, we saw that at
honestly.
E3. It's like, no, we saw the Game Awards, remember? It's like, no, we didn't. Like, yeah, remember that weird screw bloody rope thing? And like, oh yeah, like we're going to.
That's a good thing? That's significant?
Yes.
We know it exists, man.
Okay. All right, I'll give it number 1.
Yeah.
If you say so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd probably Soul Calibur 2 and then Bayonetta 3.
Ouch to Bayonetta. When
I would say-
Bayonetta 2 was so highly reviewed.
Just because of the leaks, I would maybe potentially put Bayonetta 3 on top.
Didn't
Bayonetta
leak.
3 at 2.
Yeah, that was not even hinted at, really, was it?
Well, there's the hints that Platinum Game. was
You're
going
right,
to
and
Switch.
actually they like tweeted images of
Yeah.
themselves with Switches.
It was just we didn't know, but I think most rational people would think it was something to do with Bayonetta,
Okay.
just because it's their
And not Wonderful 101.
one
Yeah,
more
yeah,
than
that's
Wonderful
fair.
101.
Yeah, yeah.
I know that it's not a knock against Wonderful 101's quality. It's just Bayonetta is the more recognizable one, the one
Sure.
that probably would do better.
So wait, where's Bayonetta? So is Bayonetta 3 after Soul Calibur 6?
Bayonetta
Really?
3.
Okay. All right. Where's In the Valley of Gods?
Probably above Witchfire, because I think kind of curious about seeing that game come together. Where having played Firewatch, I think I know exactly what to expect from In the Valley of Gods, and I think it's gonna be
You
great.
know exactly what to expect from In
From
the
what
Valley
I've
of
seen
Gods.
so far, it's
Okay.
like that it's not. I'm sure they'll have more surprises, but it is in the vein of something that they want to take the experience that I was familiar with Firewatch and improve upon it, and not like, whoa, look at what weird direction they're going in.
Sure.
I felt comforted by that announcement. Like,
Yeah, the
yes,
thing-
this is what they should be working on. This looks great. Yes.
Sure, yeah.
The thing that's interesting to me about Witchfire, again, is they didn't back away from the Ethan Carter reference, right? Like, that's where they started,
Yeah.
and then they went into Painkiller and Bulletstorm. So to me, like, it makes me wonder if we're going to get, like, a crazy Twitch-based shooter that also has this psychological horror story mixed
Still
in
in
with
there.
it that's, like, super
I think
good.
you will. I think that's what
Yeah.
they want to make. Yeah.
And like that to me is pretty interesting, pretty exciting, because a lot of times, other than like Wolfenstein, like you don't get shooters that have that much of a story behind them.
Damiani, are you willing to let this game be number 4? Holy cow, this decision making.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Witchfire ahead of Valley of the Gods?
Okay, all right.
And
Then we have GTFO, Fade to Silence, and Vacation Simulator.
Fade Silence is gonna be next most important, right?
I'd put GTFO on the bottom. I'd go
lowest.
Yeah.
That would be number 8.
Down to Fade to Silence, then Vacation
Sure.
Simulator, then GTFO.
Yeah.
I think it's a funny title, and I think the team has a precedent. But like from what we saw, 4 guys go into a tunnel, scary stuff comes out.
Also,
One of the guys gets tagged.
yeah, the company's name is 10 Chambers, referencing 10 people in the company, but then
There's
they
8.
only actually have 8 people in the company, right?
Oh, come on. That's not fair to criticize.
I don't
Come
know.
on.
It's just funny to me. It's like, this is a weird thing to bring up.
Okay, so that brings our significance from the Game Awards game announcements to World War Z, GTFO, Fade to Silence, Vacation Simulator, In the Valley of Gods, Witchfire, Bayonetta 3, Soul Calibur 6, and number 1, From Software's new game, whatever that is.
Good stuff.
Did y'all hear that? Ooh. Sounds like it's podcast halftime!
The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of December. iKeyless. Since 2002, iKeyless is specialized in replacement automotive keys and remotes. They can save you up to 75% off of dealerships' prices. Visit their updated website at iKeyless.com and use promo code EASYA at checkout for free shipping and an additional 17% off of your order. Brent Klaus. Brent Klaus is a 2D animator and illustrator specializing in motion graphics and art direction. He produces animated content for brands using bold colors, fun character animation, and will sneak in a video game reference wherever he can. You can find him and his work on Twitter at Brent Klaus. Critical Reviews. Do you enjoy podcasts about video games, movies, and TV shows? Do you like Twitch streams? Do you like reviews? Then you should watch Easy A. When you're all caught up on Easy A and need more content, check out Critical Reviews. Everything that makes Easy A great, but on a way smaller budget. Watch Jimmy Good, Joe Lever, and Thomas Yang talk about the pop culture you care about and host Jolly Game streams. Join the Legion at Critical Reviews on YouTube, Twitch, and Patreon, and follow Go Critical on Twitter. Mango. Jojo Dent Co., your friendly automotive dent repair expert. If you're currently an Easy A patron and are in the Denver metropolitan area, tweet at FastMower if you would like to have your minor door dings repaired free of charge. The Cartridge Club. At its core, the Cartridge Club is like a book club for gamers. Every month, you're invited to play along at your own pace, sharing your thoughts in the forums and enjoying a wrap-up podcast with special guests selected from the community. It's a warm and welcoming place made up of content creators and gaming enthusiasts, and we want you to come join in the fun. Head over to cartridgeclub.org to find out more. Jigarbov Productions. Trying to think of a great gift for your loved one or child? Still playing Minecraft after all these years despite it being extremely old at this point? Pick up some of the best Minecraft DLC on the Minecraft Marketplace by looking up stuff made by Jigarbov Productions. It's quality content and made with love, just for you. Hogue Law, business law firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side. Rick Hogue started Hogue Law to bring more than a decade of experience to companies like yours and is proud to support the Allies. Check him out at hoeglaw.com. L. Thanis. Sweet Justice, a sound design company based in England that's worked on Battlefield, Mirror's Edge, Injustice 2, Call of Duty, Cuphead, and a load of indies. Check out their website at www.sweetjustice.audio. Scorn, an atmospheric horror adventure currently in development at Ebb Software, set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. Go to scorn-game.com for more information. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you. So, before we get into PSX, I want to acknowledge a few more things that happened in the Game Awards. We just have to, I don't know, we don't have to talk about them for too long, but they were interesting. Death Stranding had an 8-minute trailer, and I just wanted your impressions on that pretty quick.
Trailer is an interesting word.
That was a trailer?
Oh, totally a trailer.
I don't know. It feels like more like, I mean, this goes for any, well, not any, but a lot of the Metal Gear trailers as well. It's like, this is more like a scene.
Yeah, but we always called them trailers.
Sure.
Yeah. It was a scene.
Classic Kojima.
No, that's a thing. This wasn't classic Kojima.
It is Kojima at his best.
Okay, I'll take
This
that.
is classic Kojima in 2017.
Yes.
Kojima's come a long way.
The new classic.
Technology's come a long way. He's got He's got Decima engine behind him now.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the star power. Got that Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
Got that was the only one who appeared in this one, but
Yeah.
he's also had Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
There's also
Mads
other
Mikkelsen.
rumors, and yes,
Yeah.
of course. It is always a pleasure to see what Kojima comes up with.
Yeah.
It's like an event.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
really,
we have
it
not-
really, you're hanging on every single moment. Like,
Yes.
When we haven't seen a shred of actual gameplay. This is
We
like
have.
the third. We have.
Apparently, you see a little bit of him swimming forward, and that is actual gameplay.
Wow.
Yeah.
A little bit of swing
So we
forward.
have a
Okay.
shred. We have a
okay, we
shred.
got a shred.
Yeah.
So we got a shred.
That's about what I predicted, but
Yeah.
only I said he would be walking forward.
Yeah.
This is the third trailer now.
yeah.
Of like incredible length, and I feel like only Kojima could do something like this. Only he can get away
Yeah.
with this grand spectacle. But I don't ever want it to go away. I want this to keep happening. I'm looking forward to trailer number 4.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, bring it on. It's hard to predict what the game will be like. It's hard.
I don't think so at all.
Oh, whoa.
I
James.
highly disagree with that sentiment.
Okay.
With people
Ooh.
being like, we have 3 trailers and I don't know what the heck's going on.
Expert
It's like,
Jones here.
clearly it's a stealth game. Clearly you have this scanner thing around you that spins in different ways. When it was clapping, that was one thing. That was like stuff's coming.
It's close. It's
when
close.
it's
Yeah.
here, now it's here. It's there.
Yeah.
So you're actively following it along the ground. There was one point where it went into like a cross, where it went straight up into the side.
I think that's
like,
neutral,
That
right?
means something. Yeah.
Yeah,
So obviously this is going to be stealth. Obviously the fingerprints are going to be a deal. I would not be surprised if there's some hold your breath mechanic. That would be fascinating if it was like the grip mechanic in Shadow of the Colossus, where you're like, oh, I hear it coming. And it's like, okay, well, you can't keep holding your breath. Like, you have to let that go at some point and take a breath in. And is that going to be something that triggers them? Or they, are you going to have to save people? Obviously, you're going to be carrying babies at some point. It's all we've seen people do. They're just carrying babies. We got, Guillermo coming in and he's hiding him. He's obviously not a soldier. And then we have this one soldier who the thing clouds up, and then Norman has got to take it over. And then when he comes back at the end, it's like you can't see the baby inside anymore. So maybe something happened to it. I don't know. But obviously, there's some kind of sentientness going on between them. There's tall talks. He talked about the stranding. So these things have really long fingernails. You have the babies. You obviously have the umbilical cord connotations there. And I imagine they show off the gear a lot in this last trailer. So you see his outfit. You see his name is Porter, I'm assuming. They definitely show that off big time.
Yeah.
I'd love to go back and freeze frame the door underwater. That was another big clue. This door floats by with a
says
logo
Bridges.
on it. Bridges, okay.
And the logo is a spider web across the United States.
Yeah, but
And spider webs and
says,
cracks
it doesn't
are
say
definitely
United
something
States.
that
It
he's
says
showing.
United Cities.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, people have to live in cities,
Yeah.
so maybe that's like Guillermo's coming out of the battlefield and actually coming into a metropolitan area. So I love it. I mean, it's fascinating to me to try to piece all this stuff together.
First trailer with narration.
Yes, first trailer where we heard anybody speak. That's right.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think you put all of the stuff that he's given out together, and you can certainly start to piece together the possibilities of a game.
Yeah.
And that's very exciting for me to do as a fan, as somebody who has never really hung on everything that Kojima's done over the years, and just appreciates him for making wacky stuff.
It's like one of my favorite things. I just wish more people did this. It's just when I'm like 2 minutes into that presentation, and there hasn't been a cut, and the game is just breathing, and we are living in its pace. You know what I mean? I just wish more games were willing to do that. And that might even be like most games don't start in an interesting way where the first 2 minutes would lend themselves to being a good trailer like this. But yeah, that's just that kind of thing where, Jones, you're right, hanging in at every moment. And again, just having that be live, I think is just such a benefit to it. Having us all watch a baby give a thumbs up in Norman Reedus' throat together. We're all shocked by that at the exact same moment. That's an event. That's so cool.
Who's that guy that lands too? The guy that floats in the top and he does the.
We think that's
Right.
Matt
Metal Gear.
because
Yeah.
he does the quiet first.
Yeah.
He does the shush that he did in the other
So
trailer.
it feels like
yeah.
that, but he's not. Then he kind of flies away and leaves them there. So
Yeah,
it's
see, on our
weird. So
side-
yeah, I don't know.
He's got his own thing, but it's different tech. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. Very
It's
much worth
spooky.
watching.
When
Yeah,
you're
it's spooky.
underwater and you see that giant thing flying over in the sky,
Oh,
and
like
when
the
you
spider
see
thing?
these things just
Yeah.
kind of barely flicker in the background, and
so good.
I love that as a horror fan. I love that. I love when you really got to look for things, and the director, the editor's not like, there's the scary thing right there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep. Zelda DLC, The Champion's Ballad, had a shadow drop during the Game Awards. Right after, I guess. That was kind of interesting.
A Nintendo shadow drop.
A Nintendo shadow drop. Never mind.
I think this is really interesting just because they had said multiple times that it was coming this year, and then they never would commit. It's like, what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? It's got to be delayed. It's coming out next year, and then here it is.
Yeah.
Forgot about it, didn't you?
Oh, us? Yeah, we never forgot. We never forgot about the channel.
I think a lot of people forgot about it.
Okay.
I wasn't a huge fan of that trailer. I like the motorcycle announcement. I thought that was great. Love the shadow drop.
Yeah.
It seemed like weird bits cut from the main game. Like it seemed like, remember those 4 heroes? And I'm like, yeah, didn't we already see that cutscene? Maybe, I don't know. Like it just wasn't. It was tough for me to piece together. Like, what are we doing? Am I playing as them? Or I don't like. I didn't have any questions answered from that thing. And I know I could go play it. I haven't had time.
Right.
I'll definitely be just devouring that over the holidays. But
I would say the lackluster trailer is indicative of the lackluster DLC.
that's what it feels like.
I think that's what's happening there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can talk about that later.
Yeah. A Way Out has a release date, and it's $30 on March 23rd. There's that March 23rd again. Ni no Kuni. That's an easy choice, right? Obviously, we got to play A Way Out, though. It looks really interesting. Has a Friends Pass is the one why I pulled it.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
that's a
Good
cool
announcement.
Yeah.
Joseph Ferris was there to announce the Friends Pass. Didn't quite get it out.
God.
But the way
That
this
would've been
works
key.
is if one person buys the game and Jones, you want to play with me, split screen co-op online, you get to play for free. I give you my friend pass, you're playing for free.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Can you do that once, or can you do that to multiple friends?
Oh, I think you do that with one friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this game expanded in a nice way. I thought I could kind of tell what the story was going on before. Like one thing that I didn't necessarily want to see was like one character kind of gets reunited with his family, and I was like, oh, there's the ending, I guess. And they were like in a boat. They were like doing other. They were just in lots of
They were
weird
like
environments.
playing baseball at one point.
I hadn't seen it before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like this is going to be a pretty crazy
The
adventure
hospital,
that they
yeah.
go on. So
I think we were too overwhelmed with the antics on stage to actually pay attention to the trailer.
Oh, I know.
when we
Shell
were
shocked.
watching it.
yeah.
Yeah. That was crazy. That was an event, a live event. Let's talk about PSX, another live event. We had the PlayStation Presents presentation. Now,
PlayStation Presents presentation.
this was, they warned us. They said, hey, this is going to be low key, everybody.
Yeah.
Don't expect much. We still somehow expected too much. Here are our announcements. Firewall Zero Hour is a new PSVR game, PSVR exclusive from a studio called First Contact, who does VR stuff. This is a tactical first-person shooter 4v4.
We gave impressions. Check those out.
Give me a quick one right now, though.
Better than it looks.
Okay, because it showed very poorly in that
Did
trailer.
not show well.
That was
Yeah.
a bad trailer.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were also sort of guided demos. You know, we had people in our squad that like knew exactly what was going on and were giving us commands. And like, it is a game that requires coordination, and so yeah, having that point person to like say, hey, we're going here, we're doing this, and like, it makes the whole thing like feel better.
Did you get to defend the house and attack the house?
I was only able to attack.
Okay, cool.
So, but I attacked twice.
Rainbow Six style. Yeah, that's kind of fun, right? To breach a house.
But yeah, then aim down sights just by putting the aim controller up close to your face.
I forgot it was that thing.
Yeah. And I heard from good old Nick Plessas, who used to work with back
Yeah.
in Game Trailers, who just said it feels so good just to make that slight vision correction if you're aiming at somebody in VR with that thing, That,
Plus is approved?
Plessas approved, yeah.
Ooh.
He played with Huber, and then both of them really enjoyed it. So And I think they were surprised. I don't think this is something that they would say rivals Rainbow Six or a PUBG or something like that. But they were like that tension there.
Yeah, it's way too small.
It was better than they thought it would be.
Sure.
So difficult game, I think, like that to advertise. I think this might be one of those bring the players more into it. Show me people having fun playing it, maybe talking about their experiences, and not necessarily like, look at this, because it's like that environment does not look good. The lighting looks good, but like super dark and just very like hard to kind of see what they're shooting at, and yeah.
And even the UI in that trailer just looked so bad. Yeah. Tough debut, but I guess that's kind of like what the VR market is. It's like, it's not bad.
Yeah.
So it's like we're playing games that are just like not bad because in VR they're so fun.
A lot of VR felt that way at PSX, where I was like, I'll try it.
Yeah.
There was not a lot of I got it. I'm so excited to check this out.
Yeah. I didn't bring Last Guardian VR because it's just like basically a demo. It's like you get that for free.
Yeah.
Medieval Remastered. Medieval is the next PlayStation 1 game getting a remastered release. It'll be 4K, fully remastered. More details soon. Nothing else for you. Here's a little flash of a face at the end of the trailer.
Someone at our meetup said that was a PSP game and not the PS1 game?
Yeah, people were making judgment calls about that. I don't know.
I highly doubt it.
Because I think what it was remade for the PSP, and they're saying they're just taking that code and reusing it from there.
That could be. Yeah, I mean, Parappa the Rapper was remade for PSP.
Yeah.
And in this case, no, I don't think anything was different from that version. I don't know, really? So we're thinking it's the PSP version.
Yeah, essentially what they were saying is the same thing that they did with Parappa.
Okay. All right.
I am not excited for that. I think that is a quintessential PSX type announcement. I think that's where you drop that kind of stuff, very specifically to the fans.
Here's the difference, Jones. Last year at PSX, Parappa was announced, and you could play it right there at PSX.
Right.
It was not. More details soon.
Right.
Correct.
We didn't even see the game.
So there are better ways to do it. And I thought it kind of lacked a little energy by the time he finally he's like, and like unzipped his shirt, and everyone's like, what is that? And like, I talked to some people, they're like, I knew what it was immediately, but like most of us didn't. And then Sean just kind of lacked energy when he actually like finally mentioned what it was.
Yeah.
And then they show the trailer. Like, I thought that was weird.
I think when you plan that, when
Weird
you plan
order.
to unzip his shirt and reveal a new game, you expect uproar. You expect you expect applause, you standing ovation.
I just
don't think
don't
that was
know
there
that
for
there's
this.
like that. There's not that big of an audience.
Yeah.
Like even compared to Parappa, you know, it's like who are the people that care about Sir Dan? I don't know.
And it is a cool game. By the way, it's a cool game, but it's not Spyro. It's not the one that would have made everybody go nuts. So yeah, that was cool. Jupiter and Mars.
Yep.
I just learned PSVR and PS4. You're playing I think you're as one dolphin, and then the other dolphin's like you're also with you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jupiter and Mars are the titular dolphins. That is coming out Q2 2018. Dolphin game. Looks like you use echolocation. Like you go, and then you kind of fill out the map around you and things like that.
Someone around me compared it to Rez.
Sure, I can get that.
I don't know if they were familiar with the development or so. I just heard the word Rez pop up.
I think people were trying to catch what the heck it was when it was showing up.
I feel bad for it though. I couldn't help it.
I
couldn't help but snicker when it first got announced because because at that moment it was such a weird press conference or presentation or whatever that we watched, and so when they're announcing these new games, when you're like, okay, please, whatever this is, save this weird thing I'm watching, and it's like dolphin swimming, just like, no, that wasn't it. They're like, maybe this could be fun, but just right now with the mood of this room, happy pink and purple dolphins might not be the thing that's going to win.
I get what you're saying.
But I love the concept of a VR game where it's just like gorgeousness, just constantly flying at you. Like, great.
Yeah, I left out some things. You're not normal dolphins. You're like troned out neon dolphins.
In a post-apocalyptic ocean.
Right, and so like
humans
you're
are
swimming
dead
by drowned subway like lines. Yeah, it's cool. Finally, this one wasn't announced at PSX, but it was announced over the course of the last week. Bridge Constructor Portal.
Right.
Now, this was a very interesting... Jones, have you seen the trailer for this?
No.
Oh, man.
I've seen the trailer.
Funny. Yeah.
Haven't seen too much gameplay of it, so I'm a little hazy on how it actually plays.
So Bridge Constructor is a series that has previously existed. There's a Portal version of it, like Portal skin, and like, there's GLaDOS and everybody talking and things like that. And I mean, you just get Bridge Constructor plus uses of portals where a truck can drop in and then go over. Did I say December 20th on that one that's coming out?
I don't think you did.
Cool. So it's coming out very soon. It's just funny. Funny because there was a rumor the day before, like, hey, I hear something Portal is going to be announced tomorrow. And so people assumed at the Game Awards there would be a Portal announcement. And this happened instead. This was announced way before the Game Awards, wasn't a part of the Game Awards. And so kind of like what Jones, like you said, like it has this weight on its shoulders. Yeah, Bridge Constructor's been a series. People like Bridge Constructor games. However, we haven't seen a Portal game in so long. And so for this to be the outlet for Portal...
Right.
It had a negative reaction because poor Bridge Constructor is the only Portal game, I guess, besides Lego Dimensions, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and also it just feels like just like a very like slapped on product placement kind of a play. You know, it's like could be Bridge Constructor McDonald's edition or Coca-Cola edition. You know, it's just that kind of a vibe to it, even though they had a kind of realized trailer.
Fair, right. There's nothing innate to Bridge Constructor where it's like, oh, Portal really fits with this. I get what you're saying, Blood. I guess the testing, Portal's about testing and like you're testing your bridges. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's one thing to put Shovel Knight in Yooka-Laylee. It's another thing to get like Yooka-Laylee Shovel Knight edition.
Yes.
You're like, what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it kind of feels like that.
Yeah. And so yeah, that's that. Who knows if we'll ever get a true? Hey, I hear there's a Portal thing gonna get announced tomorrow. Like if that'll ever happen to like a real cool
what
Portal
company
game.
would publish that if they did that?
Valve.
So yeah, it's not,
It's now time for love and respect. Love and respect. So, you know what? Because we're talking about that PSX presentation, I want to do this question. Here we go. This comes to us from Warren Blythe. Ahoy, allies. After the opening PSX presentation kind of flopped, I'm curious how you think they should have designed it. So I like this. So, let's be positive. I think it would have been cool if they'd invited a gamer with top trophy count in a hot game to talk with the developer of that title. Would feel like a reward for playing and make the trophy system feel like it has a point. They wouldn't have to worry about teasing new stuff because they'd focus on the rewards for what they've done. Plus, all those people on the couch felt like they were sharing inside jokes about boardroom delivery dates instead of connecting with the gamers in the audience. Here's another idea. You could send devs out to live theaters to talk to the audience near them, or you could put a lot more focus on indie games, which Sony seems to have steered away from. That last one I agree with immediately. Yes, there should have been more indie games in that presentation.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think... as I was kind of digesting things and all the feedback and stuff from that presentation, I think Sony's problem is that they could have gone two different directions and they just kind of hit this like blah middle ground.
Yes.
Like you could have had, like past years where it's like, okay, this is going to be like a press conference and we're going to announce a lot of games, highlight a lot of games. Like you said, like just even if the games aren't new, let's just celebrate all the games that are here at PSX. Show people what they're gonna get out there and play tomorrow. Like get everyone hyped up. Or they could have done a nice, cozy chat and real comfortable, real relaxed. But instead they had everyone on couches that spread out to the far ends of the stage to where and they didn't really interact that well because they're so far away from each other. Like Sean Layden's all the way down on the other end while people are having a conversation. He's trying to like get a word in edgewise once in a while, and everyone else in the middle is just sort of sitting there.
Yes.
And there's no reason for them to be on stage anymore. And so it's like if you want to do that, then yeah, like find some way to get Greg Miller in there earlier or get some other people in there to really break the ice. Even get a fireplace on that stage to just set a vibe. It's just
yeah.
If you're gonna just hang out with the PSX audience, then hang out like all the way. Don't try to like throw. Here's a couple of trailers because we know you're bored right now in the middle of it, and then 3 hours later we're gonna show you Concrete
jamming in
Genie.
6 trailers in a row. There was a lot of moments. I think this happened to almost all of us that went to PSX where like a fan, an ally, someone came up to us and was like, "Have you heard about this game?" We're like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, there's this game that I played that is right up your alley. You should go play it." It's like, I've never heard of that. They sure didn't announce that during the showcase, Friday night. And like, you bring up a really excellent point, Blood, which is like, that's definitely what that should be before you start that show. It's like, here's everything that you can see.
Yeah.
It was nice seeing that Shadow of the Colossus statue that I could climb on top of, but that's definitely not going to be the best takeaway that I have from this show.
I forgot they did that. They actually showed like the boothy take an Instagram photo here stuff in that presentation.
It's kind of fun, but again, if you're doing that in
games,
place of announcing a lot of really cool independent games and a lot of really neat VR stuff, that we possibly could have checked out. I wonder actually if I thought it was weird bringing people out in sequence. Like, I would have liked it if, everybody was out on stage. If they literally were like, ladies and gentlemen, these 8 people. And, they all came out and then all kind of talked about things. So you could have someone from Media Molecule commenting on the God of War game, or you could have somebody from Guerrilla commenting on, the paintbrush game.
Because those are some of the best parts, right? When people are giving Corey crap about, releasing his game. When is it coming out?
Yeah.
But don't have a giant model of the Anaheim Convention Center and this huge opening with the stars and each the triangle and the X and the circle. Whoa, buckle up, everybody. And then, no, this really isn't a big deal. And then face of and oh, what's now? And then back to it's just us on the couch again. It's stop, either do the cozy vibe or do the show vibe, but don't make me wait all day to get into the show, lining up outside the Anaheim Convention Center until 8 in the morning to sit down for what I felt so bad because we were sitting right by the cameras and people just sprinted for that front row. And I just imagine these people just running and putting their stuff down oh God, I made it. Why are there couches? What's going on? Just all of a sudden it starts to dawn on you you just hustled. You just gave up your Friday for next to nothing.
Yeah.
So I just think that after 3 PSXs, I can understand them coming out with the announcement of this won't be a big thing, but it is Friday night, it is prime time. You did have a very big, crazy opening, and then just the whole energy just bottomed out.
Yeah. So I guess I'm trying to think of the immediate counter argument to showing more indie games is that it would be old trailers, and maybe necessarily a lot of those games don't have good trailers yet. So how do we demonstrate that in our stage show, in our cozy stage show? I think we should go cozy direction. How do we demonstrate those indie games that don't have trailers yet or don't have new trailers to show? Don't you think the comments will hit us hard for showing old trailers?
I mean, if Sony's going to be putting on the show, then invest some money in highlighting these things that these companies can't afford to make on their own. Even if it has to be some kind of a series of montages where you're not just focusing on one game for a minute and a half. It's you still I think that's the thing is show people what they can go out and play, because even the map, I like some of the things they do with the app where you go around and get rewards and stuff like that on the show floor, but the map is just so freaking useless on that. I've just got a black space full of different colored boxes, and I can't tell what any of it is except for first party stuff, and I have to click, okay, this box is that, okay, click, this box is that, and just I'd be much better served just walking around and looking.
You know what? I thought of a contradiction already that was really good. It's a really good model to look at, was the Nintendo Nindies presentation. So this is directly comparable, is that a bunch of those games had been announced already and did have things out there, but Nintendo did they weren't trailers, but it was describing each game.
Yeah.
And what the game's about.
Fine.
Yes.
Just super boring gameplay just to show that off and showcase stuff.
Yeah.
Also, I saw a lot of people, again, we don't have this experience because we're lucky enough to set up a lot of these appointments and go behind closed doors with these people, that I saw a lot of people just screaming, especially when I went on my lunch break. I walk out into the communal lunch area by the food trucks, and it's just people screaming all around me, being like one guy screamed and then 8 other people around them were like, I know, right? Because the same thing happened to them where they were trying to book something and they're refreshing the page over and over again, and then it's just yeah, it's booked, it's gone. And they're like, all I've been doing is staring at my phone for the last 30 minutes, just constantly refreshing. And it would be nice if they mentioned something in the Friday night thing about if you don't know, here's how this goes. You need your app. Here's how this is going to work. Communicating
even though there's a bunch of people watching on Twitch, that's not relevant to them.
Or maybe do it at the end. Yeah, maybe right at the end of the presentation, just kind of a quick,
sure.
a quick bit of information.
Yeah.
But hearing that from them instead of just good luck. That was.
Yeah, and the app was also
there's a lot to know about how that show works, and they didn't.
It was
talk
really
about any
finicky
of it.
with just the phone signal. I was having trouble connecting to things until I actually went on the convention center Wi-Fi.
Hey, we're not trying to critique the event right now. We're just doing
the
opening ceremony thing.
This is. I mean, but it's all part of it.
Damiani, real quick before we move on, what's your ideal opening ceremony for PSX?
My ideal. I just want to say I think the biggest mistake they did was actually live streaming in this. I don't think what they showed, it would have gone over better if it was just for the people in the audience and there was no Twitch stream for it.
Yep.
And it made it a little bit more intimate where like audience questions like, hey, so yeah, we've got Media Molecule up on stage, just showed you off Dream's new trailer and stuff. They do like maybe that like a presentation with it. And then like maybe take 1 or 2 audience questions. It should have been more like a Comic-Con panel or a GDC panel. I say more Comic-Con because like I think of Hall H, big thing where it's a big spectacle for people who are there. It's not live streamed. I mean, some of the stuff is now, but it's not meant to really be live streamed. It's more for the participants there. They have like the participant Q&A. If that's the direction they were going, they should have just like gone all out for that and made it about the people who were just there at the show. And not worried about like streaming it to Twitch. Just be like, yeah,
Comic-Con style.
Yeah, just be like, there's nothing worth like getting excited over here. This is more about getting gaming access to these developers rather than announcements.
I think that's good too.
Yeah.
Just be like, sorry, if you're not going, we're not streaming it because it's not stream worthy.
Boy, that Detroit demo sure fizzled, didn't it?
No.
Because it didn't play like Until Dawn. It wasn't a decision-making thing. There were like 8 decisions.
Oh, do you
in
mean
that
the idea of
whole
having
demo.
the audience shout at them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I think
and
it was
was
good
the
to
demo
do a-
we'd seen a billion times already. And
It did sting. It was the first thing they ever showed of the game.
Yeah.
But like, I think it was cool to do a live demo of that game. Now everybody knows how that game plays.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, that trailer demonstrated all of the things that we saw live. You know, just in a truncated version of that. I want to do one more real quick. And this one's nice because it's just heaping praise on a company that doesn't get a lot of praise. Here we go. Love and respect. Hey, allies. Just wanted to give some love and respect out to Capcom. I know it's the edgy thing nowadays to trash the company. Yes, I admit their communication sucks, and they do appear out of touch with their audience at times, and they did single-handedly destroy one IP this year due to their incompetence. RIP Marvel vs. Capcom. I disagree, but I'll continue. But... Sorry, that was me interjecting. But they're still here and making games. This weekend, they had the #1 and #2 most viewed games on Twitch with Monster Hunter World and Street Fighter V. In fact, Street Fighter had over 100,000 viewers on Saturday and Sunday for Capcom Cup, which is unheard of for a fighting game. Also, with Sakura and Sagat being announced, plus the arcade edition coming out next month, Street Fighter V is stronger than ever right now. So my question is, can 2018 be Capcom's great redemption? And if not, what can they announce next year that would make you change your mind? They've got Monster Hunter World, Street Fighter V Arcade Edition, Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Edition. We didn't even talk about that. With new content, the first 12 games, and online play. By the way, let's just talk about it real quick. That was announced. Same people who made the Disney Afternoon Collection, same studios working on this. And yeah, it's 12 Street Fighter. It's arcade versions of 12 Street Fighter games. Basically, Street Fighter 1, which we've never really been able to play, right? All the way up to Street Fighter 3, Third Strike. Okay, moving on. Mega Man 11, an almost certain announcement for a new Devil May Cry and probably some type of Resident Evil game. Well, Resident Evil 2 remake. I'm obviously hoping for Dragon's Dogma 3, but it would be nice to hear your opinions. Love and respect. Suiko's Shining Force 2.
I just want to say the Street Fighter V, the stuff they did at Capcom Cup this past weekend.
What'd they do?
So, Capcom has not had the best luck with leaks. Pretty much their roster always leaks for everything. Season 3 of the roster has been mostly leaked for a long time now.
Yes.
Everyone knew Sakura and Sagat were coming to Street Fighter V. So what they did is they showed off the Sakura trailer, and everyone's like, "Oh, okay, nice trailer. She looks good.
Okay,
first character of season 3. Yeah, that's nice." So what they did instead, the very next thing they decided to do is like, "We got one more surprise for you." They like, we know you know all the roster, so why hide it anymore? Instead of doing the slow trickle, I'm sure they'll have the character specific trailers going forward, just to show off more of those each individual characters. They straight up released a brand new CG animated intro for Street Fighter V Arcade Edition.
It's great.
It's like the opening.
Yes.
And like there's even a shot at one point where like Chun-Li does a close up where she's putting lipstick on. You can see her. It's like poking fun kind of at the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
I don't think that's what that was about. I mean,
it's not, but at the same time, I think it's like, look how good this looks.
Yeah.
There was a budget behind this, and not only did it look great, it showcased all the brand new characters.
Cool.
And just in case you had any doubt who they were,
Yes.
at the very end, they put up a slide with each of the characters' names and portfolio.
Whereas normally they'd be silhouettes.
Yes.
For season 1, season 2, they'd be silhouettes. We're not telling you who we're going to get this year. And then so season 3, here's everybody.
By them doing that,
Yes.
by putting a lot of budget into the opening of what else, some people might have been like, oh, ooh, arcade edition, another version of a Street Fighter game, whoop-de-doo. And by realizing that in this day and age, if something leaks, just jump on it. You release that info. Like
It's a
don't
total Jones thing,
don't
yeah.
try and sit on
Yeah.
it for months thinking
Yep.
it's still a secret.
Yep.
Seeing them embrace that as like that's a sign they might be changing a little bit. That's a good thing for them. So regarding some of the other games listed there, I hope and I believe they're gonna apply this to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite as well. When they get into the next season for that, the new character add-ons and stuff like that, I hope that they will give it the same kind of treatment, because these games, when developers show that they care about them and try and make them better and actually are receptive to the community's feedback on them, they can still find success after stumbling out of the gates, which a lot of people would argue Street Fighter V did.
Yes.
And to an extent, I know you like it, but like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Yeah.
Marvel fell flat out of the gate. Let's
Yeah.
be honest. It didn't
Yeah.
even stumble. It
Oh,
just
yeah.
fell on its face.
So
Yes.
there's some hope, especially
Yeah.
if this Disney Fox deal goes through. Then all the Marvel,
They're coming.
all the
X-Men are
all the
coming.
X-Men can come
They're
and
coming.
save the day.
I mean, if we talk about leaks, they've all come true. X-Men are coming to Marvel.
I guess like they mentioned Devil May Cry, new Devil May Cry.
It's a lock. Devil May Cry
That's
5 is a lock.
gotta
Yeah.
happen. I mean, I don't know if they even need like another big announcement like Dragon's Dogma. If like they have the arcade edition release goes well,
Yep.
they announce like a revamp of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Mega
they
Man
have
11.
they have Mega Man 11. They
Yep.
have Devil May Cry confirmed.
That Street
at
Fighter
some point.
arcade collection is really cool.
They have the arcade collection,
Yep.
which is also going to be on Switch, which means it'll sell like 1 million copies.
Sure.
A lot of copies.
PC as well, though, which is really cool.
That too. I mean, that's a big deal, because not only is it, Kyle was saying, some of those games are like Street Fighter 1, 4 of them are getting online play. They're all Capcom's claiming they're all arcade perfect ports.
Yep.
But Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Third Strike, Alpha 3, and
Another Street Fighter 2 version.
No, it's, oh, wait, you did say Third Strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's
There's 2 Street Fighter 2s that are going online. It's
Hyper
hard for me-
Fighting, I think is
Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and maybe
Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, I think is
Okay.
the other one.
It's honestly
Yeah.
hard for me to differentiate
Yeah.
all the Street Fighter 2s.
Four of them are
Yeah.
getting online play, which is also like a big deal. So because Third Strike specifically, huge, really popular game with some of the I would say the hardcore fighting game community, especially hardcore Street Fighter fans. It's currently only 360 PS3, last generation. You can't play it on current gen consoles. So it's this like, nope, now you can. Here we're still supporting it. So I think they're doing a pretty good job on that front. But Resident Evil, I think RE2 remake, just finally showing off that trailer.
Yeah.
I
Capcom
saw
wins the year.
someone
Cannot be a CG thing.
Yeah.
You gotta show gameplay right away.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot do some weird tease.
Yeah.
That'll-
I think if
that'll
RE2
piss
remake
people
comes
off.
out next year, that's like Capcom, you did it. You
or
had it.
just
Yeah,
showing
yeah.
off like a real trailer gameplay, finally
Yeah.
confirming here's what it's gonna look like. The mystery's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lifting
But there's
that
so
veil.
many wins there. It's like RE2 is so popular.
Yep.
RE1 remake was such a huge hit. Resident Evil right now is back. You
Yes.
know, like it's been really great. The DLC's been great. Curious to see what Not a Hero's like.
Yeah.
But I think that looks like a very fascinating continuation of the story. Looks like catching up some characters that were just kind of left behind. I think when credits finally rolled on RE7. So just this is it. You're not gonna, I don't know when else you would want, what other position you want Resident Evil to be in other than now.
Yeah.
To finally deliver that.
Yeah, we're primed, baby.
And it'll make Huber happy.
We don't know, actually. He could be
We could
easily,
all love it, and he's like,
Yeah,
"No."
yeah. He could
That
easily
would
be
be
upset
great.
by Resident Evil remake too. All right, Blood, what do you think real quick? Do you think Capcom's going to have a good year in 2018?
Yeah, except for Deep Down. That's not going to hit very well at all. People are going to get real upset with the microtransactions on that game.
Wait, do you know something, or is you making a joke?
I'm making it. Well, it's supposed to be a free-to-play thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're right. It is going to be awful, isn't it? With microtransaction wise.
with like randomly
Yeah.
generated dungeons.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we don't know what the heck's happening with that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Resident Evil 2. I'm curious to see what direction they'll go with it. Like, if they actually do the full-on like RE remake style, when we see that game, we're not gonna know it's CG or not until somebody like actually starts shooting at a zombie.
Rumor has it's third person. Rumors I trust, you know.
But I mean, it's already third person. Like, what do you mean?
Oh, like third person camera, like moving along with the character.
Oh, okay. So you mean over the shoulder camera, like the old stuff?
I don't think it'll be like remake style with a pre-rendered sweet backgrounds.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you got to sell a game.
Yeah,
though.
we'll see. But even so, like because of the way that game is designed, if they keep it close, like it'll be so closed in that they'll still have a lot of budget for a lot of detail.
Sure. Yeah. I think sentiment for Capcom is actually pretty high right now. Announce a Mega Man's game and miracles happen. Yeah. Hopeful. You're right. Yes. 2018 could be very good.
Possibilities.
Yeah. I mean, like, Legends 3's happening. Like, yes, then I'm in love. But like, still, like, I'm very proud of what the company's done these last few months and will do in 2018. That's it. That's it for Love and Respect. It is now time for Ore Wars. Ore Wars is turning around. Nadia H. Young was kind to us last week. She's the podcast reviewer for the LA Times.
Of course.
She said it was slightly less annoying.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I'm going to try to do the intro exactly as I did last week.
All right.
Here we go. Swing, swing, swing from the tangles of my heart is crushed by the Ore Wars. Now,
Ore Wars.
Oh. That was part of it, exactly. Yes. Damiani, you're going to go first. I'm going to give you two things, and you need to tell me which one. Okay?
All right.
Death Stranding Baby or Link's Motorcycle?
Death Stranding's Baby.
Why?
Because thumbs up are cute.
Okay. Daniel Bloodworth, Death Stranding Baby or Link's Motorcycle?
Oh, it's got to be a Death Stranding Baby.
Why?
I mean, it saves you from dimensional peril. I mean, you need that thing.
Jones?
Death Stranding Baby. I want to protect it, whereas I just want to run that motorcycle into the mud.
This channel's getting too good at Ore Wars. Okay. PSX opening show in 2018 or Sony's Paris Games Week show in 2018? Daniel Bloodworth, you're first on this one.
Oh. I'm going to go with PSX because I feel like they're just, it's like, this year, okay, we did you last year. We'll do the other thing this year. Yeah. Okay. I think they're just going to keep shifting things around based on what negative reaction they've had.
Brandon Jones.
PSX, lots to learn.
Michael Damiani.
PSX. We'll finally learn out what that new From Software game is because it'll be 12 months.
Okay, and our final, Jones, you'll start with this one. Jack Black and New Jumanji or Bubsy?
Jack Black and New Jumanji. Tim Shaver joke, very appreciated at the Game Awards.
Michael Damiani.
Bubsy, because cats are cuter than Jack Black.
And Daniel Bloodworth.
Yeah, Jack Black, because I still don't get the Bubsy play.
That's not fair.
Bold. Okay.
I still don't get the Bubsy play. All right, how do I calculate this? I gotta admit, you're all very good at the Ore Wars this week.
Ore Wars.
Yes. Fine. Blood, you got it.
Nice.
You got it for the emphasis. But I will say that everyone accrued a ton of points this week. Jones, Damiani, great work in the Ore Wars. Daniel Bloodworth is our Ore Wars champion. Swing, swing, swing from the tangles of my heart is crushed by the Ore Wars.
Ore Wars.
Now, let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. That is where the Easy Allies exist. That's where we are allowed to exist. We exist because of patreon.com/easyallies.
That's where Death Stranding babies are. They're on Patreon.
Just 6,000 of them every month. Just That's a cool website to check out if you're curious about what we do and how we do it and how you might be able to help us and how we might be able to help you. For instance, people who give $5 or more a month to our Patreon get this podcast on Wednesdays as opposed to Fridays. And those people also can submit to the Love and Respect segment. And that's how I get all those questions and topics and games. Cool. How'd you do on your goal this week, Damiani, of talking in a radio voice at some point?
Not really.
Did you forget about it?
Kind of.
Are you saying that very far away from the microphone right now?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Daniel Bloodworth, how'd you do on your goal of talking about your?
I said a reference to
Yes,
your.
yeah.
And that's, I just did it 3 times there, so.
Oh, or Wars was a reference to your?
Yeah, because in the opening song, when the credits are rolling, there's that chant in the background, and I'm pretty sure it's saying yours world, but it's so indistinct that it could be just any that you could come up with.
So it could have been or Wars.
It's or Wars, yeah.
Great.
It's predicting the or Wars.
All right, it's predicting the or Wars. Jones, how did you do on your goal? Oh, sorry, what was your goal
To
again?
not spoil the PSX betting special results show.
I think you nailed it.
I did it, yeah.
And I did not have a single Scrooge moment in this entire podcast. I was dying. There were several times where I wanted to have a Scrooge moment, but I think I did okay.
We're getting closer to that magical day, though, this month.
Yeah. I'm going to Scrooge out eventually. Just a matter of time. Now it's time to bring back a very old segment. Damiani, what's in your mug? He's reaching into his mug and pulling out. Very slowly. What?
Ooh.
Damiani, this is a USB drive from Final Fantasy XIV. The reason I know that is because you've already taken that out of your mug before.
Have I?
Yes.
I think he has. No, I
You
think we have,
totally
actually.
have.
It does look.
So we revive a long dead segment.
How's that possible?
And you take out this thing that you've already taken out of a mug before.
How's that possible? 'Cause
I'm killing this segment again.
Oh,
It's dead.
I got this year.
You got that this year?
Yeah, we haven't done this year.
You've definitely taken that Final Fantasy XIV keychain USB drive out of a mug before. Chat, let me know.
I have another one.
Time
I
but
feel
it's not
cheated.
This one.
I feel cheated by this.
It's not this one.
It's identical. It's the exact same thing. So if you feel cheated at home, you should know this is not the identical USB drive. It's just one that looks identical, but it is actually a different USB drive that was in Damiani's mug.
You wanted to do the bit. I blame you.
Yeah, this is on me. This is on me. This is back in the mug.
Next time.
Next time. Okay, Daniel Bloodworth, because you won the Or Wars with your chance. Everyone had great arguments this week, but the chance really put him over the edge. You get the right and responsibility to share your Twitter handle with the world. You get to promote any Easy Eyes video you would like to promote. You get to sign off with your trademark sign off, but you also get the final word on anything you've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just thought of in this very moment. Take it away, Daniel Bloodworth.
My Twitter handle is @dbloodworth2, and for video, check out my Need for Speed Payback review. Even if you don't enjoy racing games very often, I think you will enjoy this video. Ian did a great job putting it together. It is got its funny moments for sure. It's pretty good watch.
Blood.
What's up?
I'm impressed by how ruthless you were in this review.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Sometimes, I don't want to kill the suspense too much, but it's a bad review.
Right.
A good review of a bad game.
It's a good review of a bad game.
Yeah.
Right. Nadia H. Young she's harsh but fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Blood, you were harsh but fair to this game.
Yeah. Because I said, there's still you can still have fun driving around in this game.
Yeah.
Just there's a lot of things in the game that won't let you drive around in it. So. For my final word, something that I thought of when you mentioned that Soul Calibur 6 is on Unreal Engine and didn't bring up is that EA should also think about using the Unreal Engine because they keep putting games onto Frostbite and the teams have to apparently reinvent the code in order to get these games to work, and then they don't turn out to be what people are expecting out of these franchises, or, as in the case of the Star Wars game, get outright canceled altogether. So I don't know if that's trying to save money or if that's trying to be, like really proud of the achievements of the Frostbite with Battlefield. But it doesn't seem to be a fit all every case. So yeah, we will see you before the next Blood Moon Rises.
I am enjoying these microtransactions.